Our next amplifier project will be an Ampeg Portaflex as shown here. And as you can see, somewhere along the line, the power transformer had to be replaced with a non-original power transformer. And one of the first things that we're going to do on this unit as far as a major repair is going to be the replacement of this with an original power transformer. For those following along at home, this is a B-15-N model. I'm going to assume that there was heavy modification under the hood here. There is also a utility plug that was added to this with a ground. This is not the original plug for this unit. Tape has been added here to insulate this area. It floats. You can see that right there. I'm going to leave that tape just for now as we take a look under the hood and check the condition of the other components of this unit. I imagine that the replacement of the transformer is not going to end this repair project. And this is a pretty cool looking amp when restored. I mean, this one has potential after the repair to be pretty cool. Keeping this in the original patina, I'm not doing any of that. Probably add a grommet if they want to go with a replacement plug. That's about it. And we can see the complement of tubes that are used here are clearly displayed on the rear silk screen in very good condition. Output for the external speaker is 8 ohm. It's also an AC hum control potentiometer. That's pretty cool. I like that. I imagine this is going to tap off the heaters of the tubes and you just turn it left and right and tune it for minimum hum. With this, we will do the unboxing, as it were, of this unit. It's probably been a while. So yeah, right off the bat, we're looking at a electrolytic capacitor here for the filter cap. It's a multi-can 1, 2, 3, 4 capacitors rated to 500 volts DC. I see 40, 40, 40, 40, right? This is going to have to be replaced. That's garbage. Here are the tubes. We're going to have to take these out and measure them. Also, the 6L6s, I'm going to have to see what the configuration is of this, but if the configuration lends itself towards having a match set, I'm going to have to see if these are balanced. Part of the initial breakdown process, I remove and clean each tube, just like that, and then they will be individually tested. I'll point out that this amplifier has a complete complement of Ampeg tubes, which are actually RCA, made for Ampeg, right? So it probably came with this amp, except for the rectifier, the 5U4, which was made by Raytheon. So it either came with the Raytheon tube or the rectifier was already replaced, which is quite possible that the rectifier was already replaced, especially when the power transformer has already been replaced. It probably had taken the rectifier with it. But here they are, all nice and clean. I left the artwork on them, so they're looking good, and these are ready for testing. We'll be testing the first section of the 5U4, and it's starting to glow on the rear side. We cannot see it. We'll take a look now. And we can see that's looking pretty good, 95. So we'll move to the next socket to see the other half. Plug in the other half and it shows off the charts. So the other side is looking good too. We're going to call that good, move on to the next one. And this is our first 6L6 warming up. And we can see that that one is looking just fine. Obviously, performance is going to be measured in the amplifier with my test set that I'm going to add on to it, but this is just the tube itself. Good. On to the next one. We can see the other one heating up now. And this one looks like it's going to be good. This one's okay too. So those two are fine. Moving on to the next tube. This is the first 6SL7, and this is garbage. So on to the next one. This second one is also showing weak. Not as weak, but weak too. Let me see what the third one brings. Yeah, the third one is showing weak too. So yeah, 3 of them. What am I going to tell you? These are original. So it is quite possible. I'm going to clean this outer shell only because it violates my working on disgusting amp policy. This is a much better improvement to work on. Then a once over with a little Windex just to seal the deal, just so I'm not getting nasty while I'm working on the amplifier. That's all it takes is them 2 screws and separates it from the bottom housing. In doing so, exposes the entire amplifier. Also, you can see very faintly, is the complete schematic to this entire unit. Archaeological discovery. Look at this. How about that? Let's clean that up and have a look. I'll point out in looking at the schematic that this capacitor is probably not original, as it called for a 20-20-40-40, and this is a 40-40-40-40. Still going to need to be replaced because it looks quite ancient and not very tight in here, but I wanted to point that out because that is discrepancy. The bottom is not in terrible condition. You know, the switches will need work and whatnot. It's all going to be deoxidate and whatnot. I'm going to get past that. I'm going to point out the oh my gods, right? Oh my god, what is this? So this is the 3-prong air conditioner cable that was put on this thing, and the ground for it was not tied to the chassis, but soldered in, or attempted. It's not soldered. Watch, ready? Whoop. It just sort of curled around the capacitor here, and that's it. That's bad, right? And even though the plug is a 3-prong, it was left on this switch here. This is not a thing. What is this? So this is supposed to be like like the ground flipping switch, but this is all garbage. This is all coming out, right? Doesn't even make any sense. There's a cable cut here, this goes here, and this is a nightmare. This is what you call a death trap waiting to happen. This is somebody gets electrocuted and they die and they're dead by their amp, right? I got another thing here, and I'm not going to call this out just yet, right? Because I'm not sure. But we have a fuse, like a spring-loaded slow blow, that's just added into this. And it seems peculiar that it was done in this fashion. I'm going to reserve judgment, but I'm just going to say kind of weird, right? Especially since there is a fuse already in this unit. Without looking at the schematic, I could assume that a lot of these are stage coupling capacitors. These plastic-coated caps are notorious for leaking DC. I could test them. You know, a lot of people like to have the original, somewhat leaky capacitors in their amplifier for whatever reason. I do not know, but be that as it may, I'll test them and see if they need to be replaced. I've been surprised sometimes. Sometimes they are perfect, right? So I will test it. This is strange, right? Because this capacitor right here is European. Right, these are like, this is a German capacitor from the 60s and 70s that's in there. So pointing that out, that can't possibly be original. Seeing this 50 microfarad 50 volt cap, this is a cathode bias circuit for the 6v6 for the finals, right? This is the 6v6 isn't this? Is this grid bias, cathode bias circuit. So there's not a bias circuit that's set up for grid bias on these things. It's cathode bias, and the cathode bias is actually tied to the hum reducer circuit, which is a known trick to further improve upon hum reduction. It's actually a very good thing, right? And then we see more of these plastic coated ones prone to failure, and then these right here, I see one like this, and I know that this is a time bomb, right? So in here, it's like, it's not things that are exploded or destroyed. It's just known items that are just, they're bad. They're going to be bad. Tube sockets themselves, they look okay. They could be cleaned and they could be deoxided, right? The wiring looks okay. You know, I clean out the wiring with the straighten it up and whatnot. You can see the wiring for this transformer is an absolute horror show, but that's coming out, so I'm not even concerned about that. Any wiring associated with the power plug, I'm not worried about because that's being ripped out. And here the wiring is obviously just fine for the capacitor, even though that will have to be removed and reconnected. It's part of a capacitor replacement. Also, I see enough to know that this fuse ties in directly to this standby switch to provide the B+ I'll assume it's B plus because it's a standby switch, but that goes directly through this fuse. Imagine perhaps because that works its way down into this cable and this cord outside the amplifier, if it were sitting in a bathtub or something, I guess that's like a crowbar circuit to stop it from blowing up the amp or killing somebody, making an assumption. I'm going to check it out. Clean up the inside a little bit more. The first thing that I would like to do right now is get some deoxit on all of the pots and work that in there, because it looks like they could use it, and that'll just sort of sit there and do its thing while I move on to the next course of action. All potentiometers have been cleaned with deoxit. They've all been worked, so that should be a lot better. I'll still test them on the multimeter, but for right now, at least I'll be able to soak in this. I draw your attention to this. This is the replacement transformer from the bottom. You can see the screw holes and the washers. Here's the original right here as it sits. And replacement one was just kind of ad hoc drilled, right? It looks like the other screw went through the original hole, right here and here, but it was bigger. So a new hole was drilled. I hope that doesn't show through the chassis. We're gonna have to take a look. Yeah, there's definitely gonna be a hole in the chassis. There's nothing I can do about that. We can see this is where the old box ended right here, and someone just carved a hole to put this monster in. That's just terrible, but what are you gonna do? I guess we could take this out. Maybe when I do the order, we could get some plugs for this. Some metal snapping plugs to go in there. I'll have to take a look when I rip this out. This really brings me to the next thing. If it doesn't belong in this unit, at this point it's got to go. It's got to go now. Remove the 4 bolts that hold this transformer into place. We can see that it is now floating. There are a couple of wires left that need to be disconnected. I won't know exactly where they are until I start the separation process and see where they're holding on to. With that, the transformer is removed from the unit. Now the healing can begin. Whoever did this, they didn't even make the holes round. So this is yeah, so I'd have to re-drill these holes just to make them round again to be able to put caps in them. Also, the tube sockets will get some deoxit as well. I'm noticing right off the bat, you look at the power coming off here, I see a schematic annotation here for a thermistor on a schematic. And I'm like, oh, really? Let's take a look at that here. So I wanted to go to the original, right? So here's the original. And sure enough, though not the same annotation, right? This one shows 0.99 and the original shows 0.49, but hardly an issue. But yeah, a thermistor, where is it? So let's take a look. Now, for folks who don't know, the purpose of this was that if the circuit was cold, if all of the things were cold, this would be in line with the AC, and the AC coming into this circuit, because of the high resistance, or the higher resistance, would be significantly lower, right? Allowing everything to kind of turn up with lower voltage. And as it would warm up, this resistance would drop and it would come up to its normal operating voltage, and everything would come up fine, so there wouldn't be a shock to the system. And that's the purpose of this. And I'm wondering, you know, why it was removed. So we can see coming off of the fuse over here, this wire makes its way all the way up to the top of this pad. It was in fact supposed to go down here, and the thermistor was supposed to run across here, bridging that gap. It has been removed. We could see the solder is here, and it's just gone. This looks like the 0.05 microfarad death cap that ties off to AC, or is supposed to tie off to AC. We can see that the outer shield of this capacitor ties off to ground, as we would expect. Top side, however, has been clipped, and it's probably been clipped from here. right? So this was removing the death cap from circuit. So the cap is there, but not connected. We've gotten about 2 components into the schematic. We've already found 2 problems. And only because this is really bugging me, it's just, I just want to know, and this is totally out of turn, but I'm curious to see if I could derive similar ESR from all of these exactly the same capacitors here. These would be the lime green ones. So I'm just going to check that out right quick, because it's only going to take a second. And I realize that this is not the application for this, so I'm not worried so much about the value I'm seeing. I just want to know if it's consistent. So we're seeing 78.5, 75.5, 74.4, 75.3, 75.9, 81. A little outlier there. And this one's 80. Could it be its location in the circuit? Could it be its exposure in the circuit? Those were a little higher. Again, I have much better ways to test leakage than doing this for these types of capacitors. I was just curious. And yes, what I will be doing is my standard procedure. I'll be lifting up one side of each of these from the pad, and they will be going on the IT11 for an actual value. Another necessary but not so enjoyable part of this project is going through all of these resistors with the multimeter and making sure that they are all within specification, all of which will be annotated on the schematic diagram to keep track of which ones need to be replaced. The next anomaly, these cut red wires right here, I've removed from the old transformer. This is the AC into the rectifier, right? And you will notice it is going through these 10 ohm resistors right here. These are gold banded, right? And 10 ohms they're registering good. Comes out of those 10 ohm resistors, right? Makes its way down to pins 4 and 6 of the rectifier, right? Everything sounds good. Here's the thing, both schematics do not have it padded right here with these 10 ohm resistors. Then you would think, and as I look at it, it looks to be original, right? And a lot of times we've seen this where, it didn't make it to the schematic, but it made it to production. And it is quite possible that even this schematic was based off the one on the box that I had down there. And this is correct. And it's just 10 ohms, right? So I'm going to leave it and watch the voltage, of course, and make sure the voltage is good. I'm not going to pull this out. So I'm going to annotate it and I'm going to proceed forward with these 2. Does that brown, green, red look like purple, green, red to you? Me neither. But according to the schematic, it's purple, green, red. Let's take a reading. It's definitely brown, green, red. It's 1.5K. It reads very nicely, as a matter of fact. It's just not supposed to be brown, green, red. I'm thinking whoever did this changed all this up to get the proper voltages out of that previous power transformer. So it's all got to be changed out again. The good news is that I think beyond the power supply, I don't think there was any, modifications done here. There might have been component swap outs, but I don't think there's anything like mega crazy here that I see. I think all of the major destruction is on this side of the amplifier. I've been through all the resistors in this amplifier. It's not as much of a horror story as I thought it would be. And pretty much all of them were testable. There are a couple that don't appear to be tested in circuit that I'll have to address later. Also, a couple that I couldn't test. This was like the very beginnings of miniaturization, right? Come across this before, but what I'm going to need to do is pull the numbers on these and get the pin out to find out the testing of these components and make sure the internals are as per the schematic. A schematic does not label the individual values on these, so those will have to be done. Other than that, yeah, a couple of adjustments that were done for the transformer on this side, and one or two anomalies here that need to be corrected, and yeah, it's going to be okay.